how this happened was about 5.5 years ago. I was a passenger in a car, front seat, seat belt, all the things you're supposed to do, and driver had a blowout on the left rear tire, and we proceeded to roll 2.5 times. And when that happened, I was the lucky one that incurred the C1, C2, but I was blessed by some Marines stopping and two student nurses that had stopped and came over or had already turned blue and had lost all respiratory, and they concluded that very, very quickly and said, well, we can't. The nurses were 5 foot tall, and they looked at me and 190 pounds and 6'1", said, we can't get him out. So the Marines lifted me out and got me on the side, and they proceeded with CPR, and here I am today. And I flatlined on the way to the hospital and went through all the surgery and started a little therapy at the hospital, but it's very difficult when you have a halo, and I had that halo on for 4 months, and before it was removed. During that time, I ended up going to, well, from the respiratory team here. I, of course, was on a ventilator. I had a trach. Most quads or C1, C2s don't get to go away from the scene alive, because usually by the time the ambulance gets there, you're pretty much done because you pretty much suffocated. But I got into the hospital and was going through thinking, oh, I got all kinds of time to get healed. And the respiratory nurse said, Kevin, just so you realize, the more you rely on that ventilator, the higher risk you're gonna have to wear that all the time. I said, well, screw that, I don't want that. What do I have to do? And they said, well, you gotta go 72 hours with breathing on your own. At the time I'd done big 9 hours, so I was like, oh, good God, 72 hours? I said, all right, well, take it off. And she goes, well, are you serious? And I said, well, I ain't gonna get 72 hours unless you take it off. And I tried, so took it off, and 72 hours later, and I'll tell you what, that was one of the biggest struggles. I always thought of playing in the pool when you're a little kid and getting dunked under the water, and just having that whole feeling of I can't get air. That's one of the reasons my diaphragm right now is not that strong. So that's why I now have my Mr. Microphone. Hell, I'm gonna be partying big time now. So, babe, watch out, Teakwood. Oh man. but I met the requirements. They took it off. They were quite surprised because most C1s, C2s are always with a ventilator. So that was one hurdle. Quite a few other hurdles, but I'll spare you the details. And like I said, went to SNF for about 3 months, which is God, I went completely blank on the SNF, the skilled nursing facility. There we go. So went there and started doing therapy, working on my legs, riding a bike, which they were quite surprised. I had movement, which the doctor pretty much told me, plan on no movement on anything. You're a quadriplegic and just get used to it, even though I was an incomplete. And the bruising, that would all go away and I might get feeling back. Well, I pretty much have got feeling and movement in both legs, my fingers, my arms, pretty much I can move. But TJ and team has done a hell of a job. I've been working with TJ for about 3 years, 3.5 years, and it's been phenomenal. And just the things that I say the most from a respiratory, I mean, everybody is get to know your patient, get to know who I am. Frustrating thing is when TJ comes in and says, what do you want to work on today, Kevin? Well, TJ, you're my guidance and you're going to tell me what we're going to work on to get me stronger. So he comes to me now with an idea of what we're going to do, because I don't know. I didn't go to school. You guys have been here for, good God, no. I don't know how long. I know you've going on 2 years.
Forever.
So, yeah. So it definitely like to have you come to me with a game plan. And the other side of the coin is there's more than just the therapy of you moving my body parts. It's the communication. It's the two-way communication. It's the other patients. Something that I've always tried to do at Dwayne's place is encourage the other patients, even though they're much worse off than myself. And that's what's something you gotta always remember is there's always somebody else out there that's far worse than where you are. And I have quite a few, Derek and Leo and Patrick. We all talk in our own communication. That's one thing I'm so glad I didn't lose is my wherewithal. The wife sometimes wishes I didn't have the, hey honey, can I have some water? Honey, can you fix my pillow? But she loves all the other good communication that we have. But the other things that I'd say is build that relationship. Try to do things outside of the box, you know. In your books, it says a C1, C2 will not move, you know, and I crack up because I've had more than one student out at the Dwayne's place whisper over to the TJ, the book says he can't move. He's got to be lying. It's like, no, the book is right in most cases. But if you don't try to push me, you know, and say, come on, try, the person's not gonna, it's not like I woke up, I'm a quad. Oh yeah, I know exactly what to do. It was horrific, it sucked, it was something I had to learn, I'm still learning. I have what's called a baclofen pump, so don't know if anybody has expertise in that, but with quadriplegics and paraplegics, you have a tremendous amount of spasm. And you as therapists, when you go to move me, and I don't want to move, you're not going to move me. My muscles tend to be a little stronger, so they give you oral baclofen, which is great if you like to sleep a lot, because it knocks you out, or they put a pump in you, and it has a catheter that goes right into your spine, delivers the medication directly into my spine, 24 hours a day, and it goes directly to where it's needed. Oral, 90% it's consumed by your brain. That's why 90% of the time I'm drooling over sleeping. So I went with the baclofen pump, and that sucker was instant relief. So if you ever have patients that are not aware, it's really sad that they wouldn't be aware of it. Bring it up to them, and then they can talk to their doctors and take the next step. Drawback, they last about 5 years, and I just had mine replaced last month. Can't believe it's already been a month. But that's from the medical side. Everybody's always afraid, oh, you're fragile, you're gonna break. Hell, TJ's dropped me 2 or 3 times. No, he says he hasn't, but no, I'm joking, he hasn't, but there's been some close calls, and there's been some couple times where I got up in the standing frame and was in the standing frame a little too long, and got lightheaded and said, oh, you better get me down. So they got me down, and it definitely, you make a huge difference. And just talk to us as you would anybody else. And that's the thing I can tell, because I've had 1 or 2 people work on me, and You know, TJ, I've developed a huge bond with TJ. He knows exactly what to do. We jump right in. But I've had other people that they just kind of stare off into the distance and kind of move my arm and, oh, here's your leg moving. Okay, your hour's done. Have a great day, Kevin. Well, thanks, but you really only gave me about 10 minutes of therapy and 50 minutes worth of um, looking at the TV or talking to other people. Every minute that I can try to work or get my body moving is that much more time that's gonna possibly enable me to do something on my own. Uh, I would love to move my arms and scratch my nose. You know, I always joke, you know, nowadays, mosquito season's coming up, favorite time of the year, because they can find a quad quicker than anybody. Because they find me, they know, they sit right on my nose and look at me and say, you can't do squat. And I don't, I just sit there and look at them, go ahead and get full. But it is one of those things that's very difficult. But the whole purpose of this is now open questions. Anything is fair game. You can ask me anything and I'll either make up a lie or do something. But I see in the back corner.
Yes, sir. You said that you have a weak diaphragm. Do you have to do anything to exercise that in order to keep you off the ventilator?
No, luckily I have enough strength and oxygen. I'm always about 95 plus on the oxygen. They gave me that lovely where you breathe in and you have to do that stupid ball. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. And it was always funny, the nurse would come in and say, here, you need to use this, and set it on my chest and walk out. And I'd sit there and look at it and I'd laugh. I'd think you didn't do what you just did. A few minutes later, she'd come back in and go, I'm sorry. I know you can't do that on your own. But no, I just try to talk as much as I can. And right now I'm going through, I think, just allergies. That's why I'm kind of sounding a little hoarse. So, other questions? Yes.
What about at night when you go to bed? Do you have to wear oxygen throughout the night? Do you wear
No,
devices?
no,
None?
I have been beyond blessed. I got a bed that is just like a hospital bed, and it's got a mattress that automatically shifts me because I'm very susceptible to pressure sores. In fact, even with this fancy bed, I got one of my buttocks, and it was because one of the balloons, air balloons, had blown, and of course my sorry butt couldn't feel if it was
Right.
blown or not until we saw the pressure spot. And it's very difficult to get over them, but once you do, you're good. Prior to my accident, I did have sleep apnea. So I do have a little of that because I've had congestive heart failure since I got became a quad and went in with AFib twice. So for some reason, my heart decided to not coordinate or work with me as much as it used to. I think it's just because I'm not moving, I'm not exercising. So each time I go in, they give me oxygen at night because I always set the sensors off because that's part of my sleep apnea. But at night, now with the bed moving, it causes the oxygen to come out of my nose. The wife doesn't like that lovely sound of oxygen, which I don't like it either. Wakes me up. Other questions? Oh, come on, we got more.
I know that you're in therapy, like OT and PT and stuff. What kinds of things do you do in therapy to help with your condition?
Oh, man. Well, we definitely stretch because I'm one of the lucky ones that some quads, all their muscles are pretty much limp, and I get the opposite end where all my muscles are contracted all the time. So I've went and had Botox to relax my muscles multiple times, but I get stretched. Then after stretching, we'll work on for upper body. We'll do weights, the stretch bands, and trying to just build my arms so I can start to get them closer to my mouth over time. And lower body PT, same thing, stretching. I do a lot of leg presses. At our old place, I held the record for, did 450 leg presses in under an hour, and I think it was at a number 11, but
35 pounds.
yeah, and it was a good thing, but you know, I still like competition, so I was like, I ain't getting beat. And what was sad, women don't holler at me, but a woman was beating me, and I said, I'm gonna be you, because she kept coming in and laughing, I'm gonna be Kevin. So lots of weight, and then we do some walking. I have some support on my calves, and we'll do some walking in a, what the heck's that machine called? Lycate, yeah. So we'll do that. I haven't done that as much because I lovely insurance. I hit my max on visits because insurance considers PT and OT when you get your shoulder or your ankle broke. That's the way OT and PT is set up, not OT, PT for a quad. I'd go 5 days a week if I could, but I was approved for 12 sessions, so that'll be once a week for 12 weeks, or I could go for 2.5 weeks and be done with it. So luckily I sweet talk DJ to come and say, hey, would you like to do some of this at my house? I've got a gym and I'll throw it out to everybody here. If you're wanting some extra and doing that, feel free to get with DJ.
I charge 10% as manager.
Yeah, and definitely come over, and there's stretching is always just something that helps, because I do have a caregiver that helps me out, but definitely doesn't do it as good as TJ. I also was gonna throw it out, because I know you guys, a lot of you, have spent numerous hours doing transfers, and if you were up to it, and Janet and the rest of the team would allow it, I'm more than willing to let you try doing a transfer on a real quad, because definitely different than a body that is rigid. You'll definitely feel a difference, and it's only 1.5 feet to the ground, so it just bounce for a real quick second. It is not a problem, but if any of you want to do that, more than willing. The other thing is, if none of you have seen a van that's been set up for wheelchair accessibility, definitely come down and take a look at my van at the end of the talk, just to see. It's totally great. I like it because I'm a Arizona Cardinal fan, and everybody thinks that Larry Fitzgerald's gonna come out of it, because they will take pictures.
He has a big
Wait.
Cardinal sticker on the side.
Yeah, it's fun. Any other questions? Come on.
I have another one. What are some goals for yourself?
Oh, wow. Goals. Biggest goal that I would have would be to get my arm up to where I could feed myself, or I wouldn't even try to brush my teeth, but feed myself, or get enough use out of my arm to be able to use my phone more. I have the new phone from Apple that I can do the Hey Siri and communicate and talk, and it's great, other than to have a slight flaw. You can't answer an incoming call with Hey Siri. So I just look at it and I go, okay, I'll call you back. And then I call them back, and it's, funny, people until they live it don't realize how much life, and I did this big time, took it for granted, that it's natural, no big deal, but when it gets taken away, in my situation, it was taken away overnight. Within 2 minutes, my life changed. It's definitely a different thing, and but I've said it multiple times, I've been blessed with super great caregivers, super great therapist, hell of a wife, and my kids and friends and family. And being able to do this just makes me feel like I'm able to give back a little bit because you guys are learning and you're going to be faced with so many. I'll give one experience where I showed up to Dwayne's place and Patrick, great guy, but all of a sudden I started hearing every four-letter word in the dictionary very loud, and I'm thinking, ooh, wow, what's going on over there? I hope I'm not going to get that therapy. And he was not in speech therapy, but he said every cuss word known to man at the top of his lung. And I was like, oh my God, wow. And since then, Patrick and I have become very close, and because I've reached out to him and we've talked, and now I understand why he does what he does. And he has a real bad brain injury, and that's his way with dealing with it. But you're gonna see so many different things when you're out there in the real world. Some of them are gonna catch you off guard. Just be aware there's always a chance for somebody to do, oh, it's just a split second, even with TJ. If I don't activate my core, I'll fall forward in my chair, and he'll look at me and goes, I know you can activate your core, activate it. So I activate it, and I can sit up no problem. But if I don't concentrate, I go forward every time. Other questions?
You
Yes.
mentioned that you had kids. How old were your kids when you had the accident?
I have two boys. One was 13 and 16. It wasn't a good time. My youngest took it the hardest. It was very difficult, and again, thanks to my lovely wife, she really brought him under her wing, and he's going to college, and just had my oldest graduate, Will finish school last week. But it was rough. It's one of the roughest things that I've had, because you think all the 13 years and the 16 years, oh, I've got my whole life to do all these things with them, and man, now I'm like, oh, I should have done this, should have done that, but all I can do is give them the love I can. We have a basement home, so it's great for them because they can run the hell away from me and run downstairs. and they're gamers, which pretty much everybody is, and they go down there, but they're really cool to set up my computer in my room to enable me to watch them play. So we'll be on the phone and, yeah, Dad, I'm doing this. I'm up there just watching people get killed and zombies get killed. Yep, you're gonna kill that one. Yep, you're gonna do that. But overall, they're both, I commend them both for being able to work through it. Questions, more? I love
I have
questions.
another one. Sorry. Curious George over here. Do you ever go to support groups?
I've went to a couple support groups, but there's not many C1, C2s. And even though a quad is C7 and above, which I wish they'd redefine quad, C7 and above, a lot of them can use their arms. So when I've went to the support groups, they're mostly paraplegics. So when you try to reach out, they're like their own group. So it's like, well, what do you do? Oh, I do this, this, this. Well, how do you communicate? Well, I type, so it's definitely a different mix. I have reached out to Don Price, which I think a lot of you might have met Don Price. We're trying to get a group specifically for quads. In fact, we're trying to organize a fishing trip. Now, I know you're thinking, how the hell are you gonna fish? Well, I'll just hopefully have that dumb fish that hooks itself, and then I'll have somebody to reel it in for me. And hopefully it's the biggest one, but just getting out, doing stuff. I don't let anything slow me down. In fact, I went down and paid my money to go skydiving. And the wife looked at me and said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "Yeah, what the hell? You know, we only live once. Might as well try it." But if you can believe it, there was not enough wind that day, and I was pissed. I wanted to do it, but that's kind of that portion. Any other questions? Come on now.
Would you guys like to see him transferred?
Do you think they'll let us?
But Mama don't know, just kidding.
I'd like to see you stretching out.